All right. Welcome all to the Jerk Monger Show. I'm your host, the Jerk Monger, on my daily walk and talk. Um, skipped one. I think I skipped Sunday, but keeping it going here. Trying to keep the motivation up, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today: is staying motivated. What to do when you're not motivated. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. There's a lot of reasons why we can't stay motivated on various things. Whether it's fear, depression, anxiety. There's a lot of reasons why people lose motivation. So I guess the question is, how do we push through? How do we get through? There's a lot of discussion anymore about mental illness in America, and you know, some people just tap out because they just can't do it. They don't feel like they can. Some people don't feel like they should. Um, Whether they have a kind of weird sense of, guilt or some sort of weird condemnation. But, a sense of condemnation, self-condemnation. God knows I'm condemned all the time by all sorts of people. But self-condemnation can be challenging for sure. Anyway, so what are those things? I tell you what, doing anything, any one thing consistently, um, doing any one thing consistently has been a tremendous boost to me. And hey, Fitzfactor, good morning. Hey, Andrew J, how you doing? All right. I don't think this is my neighbor here. I'm gonna have to say hi to her. Alfonso, what's going on? Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to
All
see
right.
you. What's going
Not
on?
much. I'm walking, talking to my friends on YouTube.
Well, good for
I'll
you.
keep you off YouTube just in
Enjoy
case.
this.
Isn't
A
it
great
great?
day.
Good morning. All right. It's the morning walk monger. Yes. Anyway, so I was starting, I mentioned in the beginning about, that's one of my favorite neighbors. I love her family, her husband, her kids. They're great people, good salt of the earth people. I'm actually going to bed, but I'll chill for a second. Right on, Fitz. All right, cool. Peter, how you doing, sir? So I'm talking about staying motivated. I'm talking about how to push through. You know, I was saying how there's all sorts of reasons why people give up, why they lack motivation, why they quit. Those people are friendly. Don't think that would happen in New York. No. That's why I live in Florida, homie. Mike, this was a good morning. Um, so what do you do? What do you do to stay motivated? What can you do when sometimes I mentioned earlier about mental health and mental illness, and I was saying how there's a lot of people are super medicated these days on things to help them feel like they can get through anything in particular, blah blah blah. And you know, we are, with all the technology that we have, it's like micro movements now. We used to have to use our whole body to work. Now we just use little joints and little muscles that we never used like that before, and all of a sudden people have carpal tunnel, things of that nature. And it's kind of the same thing with our minds, I think. We're Hey Kyung, what's up, man? We're not we're using our brains in ways, our time and our lives, it's not so much our minds, are sparse, and we're using our brain to manage everything that we do now because we have all this technology to produce anything and everything. Morning. I love bikes. I miss my motorcycle, man. I miss my motorcycle. Oh, anyway. Good morning, Brian Hawkins. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. You're a zombie at the moment. Well, anyway, so I'm bringing that up because sometimes we get just plain overwhelmed. Again, a man's day or a woman's day used to just be plowing the land, right? And we had very basic things, and the future seems so amazing. And as soon as automation comes in, and which is fantastic for business, but for the individual, for each of us, right? What have we lost in that process? So I was mentioning, I think what happens is a lot of times depression sets in, a feeling of condemnation, discouragement. I can't do this. What? This is too much for me. And I'm speaking from experience and current experience. I'm speaking from a place of, this is difficult. My life is challenging. And sometimes I just don't want to go through the struggle, but it's through that struggle that we discover the innovations we need, the tools that we need to plow through, to break through that membrane that says you can't. And I feel like there are techniques that we can use, and I know this because I've done them before. I have to do them now, and I'll probably have to do them tomorrow in the future. What are some of those things? So one of the things that I find super helpful, believe it or not, are these walk and talks. When I started this, it was kind of a fluke. I was just trying to, go walking. My wife was giving me a hard time about walking. I knew I wasn't feeling good. Just want to take a walk. I wasn't sure that I was gonna get anybody to follow me or watch me or CC, good morning, to even care about what I'm doing. And in a world where everyone's looking for specific entertainment value on YouTube, this is the last thing I'm thinking anybody wants to see is a fat Puerto Rican guy walking around in his neighborhood. But oh, we're watching you jerkmonger like good little stalkers. Okay. But I guess what I'm trying to say is just this act of being, in a world where you're expected to do everything, it's the life principle still stands. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. And sometimes it's not 100 days out that I'm thinking about. It's not even sometimes 100 hours that I'm thinking about. Sometimes it's just right now, right here, this thing right here, this walk. Can I get through this? There's tons of things that fill up my day that I want to change, that I need to change. And there was a time when I would do none of the things. But if you could just do one thing, man, just one thing. Slick Rick says, don't eat elephants. I'm saying if you can just do one thing, right? So this is the one thing right now. And I tell my son this a lot when I'm trying to explain to him what he needs to do to move forward, to advance, is he just needs some successes. You just need something small to conquer. You can't conquer that mountain yet. So find a hill. You can't drift into space and just try jumping. You know what I'm saying? And it's that kind of thing that if you work on it, if you can work on that one little thing, that one bite, that first bite, that leads to the second bite, that leads to the third bite. By the time you know it, Before you know it, rather, you're you're half eating the elephant. Don't eat elephants. Everybody's right. I'm just saying. You know what the metaphor is for. So I appreciate you guys. This walk and talk for me is one of the ways that it has given me like a starting point, you know? Like if I can do this walk today, if I can stay consistent, I've been doing this now for a few weeks. Excuse me. And so, you know, if I can do this and I can say no to things, and I can say yes to things, I can say no to things that are bad for me, yes to things that are good for me, that are positive, that promote profitability, that profit me in my, not just my pocket. What's up, guys? Yeah, I know, it's okay. And don't just profit your pocket, but they profit your body, and they profit your mind, maybe your soul, right? And I think sometimes we think on the one thing, and I know that's where I've been a lot of my life. Most of the last few years, you know, stuck in my office, working on anything, accomplishing nothing. So here I am with a smaller task. My big task, I want to be a millionaire, but I got to do this first. I want to do this. I got to do this first. I have to. Because if I don't do this, the discipline that I need to maintain that millionaire is not going to be there to keep him going. I got to find another way. I have to find a better way. There's all sorts of ways. I just got to find a better way. And the one that suits me the most. Not everything, there's no such thing as a one size fits all. And trust me, when a fat guy like me puts on clothes, one size doesn't always fit all. Feels like you've been consistently positive since starting the walk and talks. Thanks, Jalapeno. I hope so. I'm trying. Let's see. Oh, passed by a bunch of stuff. You eat elephants? Elephant's not a one meal animal. I see you, says Andrew. Jay to X-Gal, Killing Lee. Kinda hope you're good. This is Wedgie Pentillis. Haven't seen anyone's streams lately. Lightning fans, so today's lesson from Jerkmonger: buy a freezer for all your extra elephant meat. Oh, hey, that works. I tell you what though, man. I don't know, I felt it earlier. My quads. I'm feeling a little bit of ripple, a little bit of rips in my quads. I saw this guy yesterday mowing a lawn on my way back from dropping my kids off at school. And an old, I'm assuming Cuban man. Cubans, for example. Everybody says it's windy. Anyway, that dude was ripped. He was an old man. He was hairy and ripped. And it reminded me of like Robert Howard stories. Like how men, and even in Frank Frazetta paintings, how they're not always buff, but they're always somewhat ripped, and because of life. This dude looked grizzled. He looked tough. He looked like 150 pounds of shoe leather, twisted in the sun. But he looked cool. I wish I could have stopped to draw him. Dark Arrow, just listening while he's driving. Feel the arts this morning. Elliot, walk on, brother. I appreciate it. Wedgie Pantilli's been good. Super busy. Probably won't be active on streams until next year. I think that sounds like a plan, Kyung. That sounds like a plan. Feels like you've been consistently positive since starting the walks and talks. Jalapeno says, that's the goal. Wedgie says, Kyung Lee, wonder when you, okay. Yeah. I feel like I'm voyeuristically reading your conversations. You need a walking stick for the dogs. I know, man. There was one time I was on doing a live stream on Instagram, and this dog escaped from the back of his house. Big white dog. It's like looked like a German Shepherd, huge dog. He was nasty. He was about to ready to maul me. As a fat guy, I can tell you one size never fits all. Wedgie says, Jerkmonger, been walking and hiking for years. More folks would de-stress if they got out of their cars more often and hit the beat. Yeah, man. That's why I'm like, I feel like Batman now. Take care of my city, at least my neighborhood. Flex them quads, Elliot. Let the ladies know what they're missing. Rawr. Woof, woof. Sounds like old man Logan. Yeah, yeah, lightning fan. Yeah, old man Logan. Hey, hey. Okay, we're looking in on you walking, looking in on us talking. Did you see Gary Shipman doing a solo auction commission stream? I did the same thing and made 740 in gold impromptu last night. That's awesome. Good for them. Good for them. Maybe that's what I gotta do. Should I do that? Should I do auctions on myself? I probably should. The neighborhood's dog reached under the fence at my dad's house to bite my foot hard when I was mowing. Oh my God. Left a bruise. Wow. Walking, talking, and auctioning. Excuse me. Yeah. How about a walk-in auction? Oh! Oh, chopping down tree stuff. Let me get out of this guy's way. Going off-road onto some dirt. All right. Commission stream. I don't know what a commission stream is exactly. I guess it'd be like a convention stream, right? Keep up inspiring the people, man. Thank you, Forrest. Appreciate it, man. So yeah, man, I mean, so back to that, doing that, man, just really nailing down the idea of, hey, we're gonna do this. So like I said, once you do the thing, like for me now, these walk-in talks, because I've been consistent, if there was ever a doubt that I can consistently do anything, this washes that away, because I've been consistent with this and you guys have been helping me. So yeah, absolutely, that's what we're doing here, right? All right, Everett Todd is in here, everybody's talking to each other. Very cool, very cool. Oh man, gotta keep breathing. How are things on Doomkicker going? They're going, man. They're going. That's where some of my struggle happens, I get overwhelmed by some of these pages. I'm like, man, what am I gonna do there? I guess every artist does that, Not all. Some of them are really efficient, are awesome, but I haven't drawn everything yet. So there's some things I need to learn to draw. It sucks that I have to learn it on this project, but hey, that's part of it. Where's your water bottle, Elliot? It's at home, man. I had a drink before I got out. Here, let me help you. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Yo, leo, yo, leo, yo, leo, right, oh, leo, right, oh, leo, right, oh, leo. All right. Whew. All right. We're almost at 20 minutes. And I'll begin my cool down, which usually takes a lot longer. I wanted to keep these to 30 minutes, but I really enjoy talking to you guys here. All right. I'm gonna pour on a little heat on the last couple minutes of my walk. Try to get my glutes in gear. My glutes. I think my glutes to be working. Just take it one panel at a time, Elliot. Pace yourself. Right on, Andy. That's it, man. One bite at a time. That's how we overcome. That's how we overcome. It's impossible to do everything all at once. But like I said, one thing at a time, you conquer one thing at a time, that gets you going for the next thing. Like all of a sudden, I'm thinking about weights again, Everett Todd says Twitter is a nightmare. Okay, Doomwalker. I like that. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, and your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I like that, Doomwalker. Good job, Jelly. Good Jelly. You got some good stuff, man. Jerkmonger, is Brian going to go Bigfoot hunting in his backyard after last sighting on PO? I wouldn't put it past him. That Brian, he's a wily man. Good morning, Eric. All right. All right, I'm at 20 minutes now. I'm going to try to get to the corner and then I'll slow down. I'm hustling, man. I wasn't doing this the first day. That's another thing. The consistency of success breeds efficiency and proficiency. And eventually, what I want to be is prolifically successful, where it's not just one here, one there, but it's the majority of the effort is successful. And depending on what your definition of success, right? It can't all be 100%, but you shoot for that. You shoot for that. I remember an old mentor of mine used to quote this. I don't know who said it. You guys probably know. That a man's reach should exceed his grasp. Is that right? Is that right? Something like that. Yeah, that's right. All right. All right. 21 minutes and I'm walking slower here. Cooling down. Chauncey, good morning, man. CC Jerkmonger heading to work. Thanks for the walk and talk. Be good, everyone. Yes, sir. All right. So what do you guys got going on that you need to keep motivated for? What are some of the things that you guys struggle with? I'm sharing with you. You guys can share with me. Chauncey says, taking a moment to count our blessings, another way to measure success. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Oh my gosh. That's huge, bro. That's a huge one. Hold on, it's a big truck here. Counting your blessings. If you failed to plan, you plan to fail. Remember, if you can see them, they can see you. Thank you, Antonio. Cardenas. All right. I also noticed that staying consistent, I still have that weird pain in my right leg, but it's less and less, and it takes longer for it to start hitting. So I think I'm building up the resistance in my muscles to handle the challenge. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When you're consistently successful, you become prolifically successful. And the next thing you know, the things that held you back before, they tend to disappear. They start to kind of run off. And so that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. That's where I need to be. That's where I will be. That's where I am. Okay, Wedgie says, one thing a man told me many moons ago, don't waste time, work it to death. Nice. Never forget that 20 years. Never forgot that 20 years on. Yeah, I love things like that. I love hearing things like slay the dragon. I have a friend who says, he goes, today I'm gonna be every bad guy's nightmare. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna go after that. I'm going to claim that. And I'm gonna see what I'm claiming, and I'm gonna go get it. I'm not talking about some of these weird ideas of naming and claiming. I'm talking about claiming the target and going after that with all I got. Even if it blows out every muscle in my body. Chelsea says, I'm struggling with my artwork, being noticed by the masses while improving my craft simultaneously. And don't worry about being noticed, man. Notice will come the better you get. I'm telling you. You know, there's little tricks you can do, but a lot of us think we're great before we're there. I submit to you that work has to be strong, and you have to be killing it first, and then people will start to notice. That's really kind of the measure. I'm not saying you have to live by other people's standards. I'm saying when people see something original in your work, a lot of people are copying other people. They're imitating other artists, and they think that, it's okay to learn from another artist, and imitate that artist to learn from that artist as a form of study. But don't be disappointed if they don't see you as good as that artist. For example, I've been studying Olivier Coipel's work. As I study, I've been imitating the look that he accomplishes, learning through the process. Here and there, I don't do it often, but when sometimes I'm sketching, I'm doing that. And the reason why I'm suggesting that is people aren't liking it because I look better than Coipel. It's just me adapting some of those techniques in my work. And so they either don't like it because it's not as good as Coipel, which is fine, right? Because I see him as someone I'm trying to reach, right? But I'm trying to reach past him. I just need some things from his work to help mine out. So doing it like that, you accomplish a lot more. And I'm not worried about what people think. But then when you make your work better, then all of a sudden people will notice. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Excellence cannot be covered. Excellence cannot be covered. If we're doing little snippets of wisdom, a battle buddy once told me, you will always be able to add or find an excuse to not do something. Yeah. Being noticed is an odd thing. What comics are you reading on your reading pile? I don't read a lot of comics. I'm trying to read books. I'm reading some horror, but I'm also trying to read some philosophy and trying to find different ways to incorporate. I'm a big believer that the stories that we want to tell, that there's two kinds of stories. There's a story for story's sake, which I think are, and then there's allegory. I'm a big fan of allegory. I think that what we should be trying to achieve is allegorical context. Things like, they say that Jaws was loosely based on Jonah and the whale from the Old Testament in the Bible. I was listening to some people discuss The Shining as being but along with being inspired or being based on the novel by Stephen King, had a lot to do with Kubrick's ideas, had to do a lot with the philosopher Jung. Is that right? Jung or Jung? I think it's Jung. That's interesting to me. Not that I necessarily subscribe to those ideas, but I see them as an opportunity to take my stories in a deeper direction, or at least learn to do that. Are you planning to write your next book? I'm planning to write all my books. I think I can do it. I might need help, but I got a funny feeling. I feel good about my ideas. I've been writing things for a while. I just don't share them. I never have a book to write them in, but I've been writing things to share with friends who are better than me, and they're pretty. They seem to enjoy what I say. Anything I say can be helped and worked on, but edited. I should say edit. That's what Lightning Fan is here for. She's here to edit me. And some other people too, by the way. All right. So yeah, man. So as far as comics are concerned, there's a couple. I don't know, maybe not a couple. The only one I'm looking forward to right now is and this one's more of a story for story's sake. It's not that deep, but it's kind of cool. It's that Once in Future with Dan Mora and the art editing. Damn, Lightning Fan says. That looks pretty cool. I've been reading that. I don't know. What do you guys suggest? Do you have any suggestions for reading material? I don't really care a lot about modern comics, at least not from the big two. I've actually checked out a little bit of manga recently. Again, I don't have a lot of time to read either. I'm trying to get a comic called Gun by named Jack Foster. I love its style. Gun, Gun by Jack Foster. That's interesting. Jack Foster. Is that the guy that wrote all the old art books? Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Oh, because you're trying to chastise me. I remember, Justin. I remember. All right. All right, I'm almost done with I got 2 more minutes I want to spend walking like this, and then I'm gonna bounce off. So yeah, so that's kind of the thing. Um, so yeah, that was a good topic for today. Encountering some of those issues myself, needing to stay motivated. Um, Looking forward to continuing to create things that are good, noble, that tell stories that are deeper than myself. I want to do that. I mostly read old school DC along with indies. I'm currently reading Tales of the Batman by Len Wein. Oh man. All right. Feeling good. Today was a good day. That was a good walk. My quads are feeling it too. I've been trying to use my glutes and my quads. I've been going back reading old school books from the 70s to 90s, trying to read at least a couple a day before bed. Chauncey says, thanks, Elliot. You got it, man. I didn't do much. I didn't do anything today. Uh, but hopefully, you know. And as far as your art, man, just like I said, just don't focus on the noticing part. I mean, that's hard, man. There's two ways to get noticed. You either improve on your single illustrations and drawings, or you complete a project, and then again, a volume of work is way more. I mean, if you think about it, I don't have a lot of comic work under my belt, but I got a lot of art online. I've got over 5,000 posts on Instagram since I started using Instagram maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago. So it's definitely the volume is what generates interest. It also shows growth, and it gets people talking about your work in a different way. Peter Mike says, Jerk Monger, wow, wow, wow. For once, I am able to catch a walk and talk. Howdy, Ellie. How you doing, Peter Mike? I visited a comic book store after 20 years recently. Beautiful art on the covers, but simplistic, gaudy art inside. It was very disappointing. Yeah, well, that's true. If it's either gaudy or it's very like basic looking stuff. There you go. Yeah, guys, check out Chauncey. Check out Chauncey's work. I think Chauncey's you got a spot on Instagram, right? Go check it out. Chauncey Blakey, right? Blakey? Blakey, yeah. I used to have a teacher named Miss Blakely. I was in love with her. She looked like Storm. She had beautiful big hair. Oh my gosh, she was beautiful. She really was too. She looked like a model. I don't know why she was a teacher. Uh, Chauncey Blakey. Go give him a look, guys. Not over 9K art posts. Unsubscribe. There you go. Rasmus. Nick Del Toro. Do you have a print of the Frankenstein's Bride pinup? Oh, I don't. I think, wasn't that a... Oh, I didn't win that one, right? So I wouldn't have made a print. I mean, I don't usually make prints of my work anymore. They're usually of product of like mini mongers and black and reds. Peter Mike says, Jerk, are you feeling better now, more relaxed and such now that you are taking things slower? Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I was saying earlier, walking has been huge for me. A lot more clarity. Sometimes that's a bad thing because it brings me to like thinking about things that are that I need to focus on that I try to ignore and over the past. You know, for some people it's alcohol. For me, it's food. You know, um, watched Dark Phoenix last night. That was the Marvel Men Hold Women Back movie to end them. Oh yeah, well, uh, I recently I just watched The Exorcist. I'm getting ready to watch the director's cut sooner than later. Um, I watched Crawl. Yeah, all the stories that matter the most are the ones that have something to say. That's the tough part. If you don't have anything to say, then it's just a series of facts. I used to have a friend, one of my mentors used to say, there's two things. There's the truth and there are facts. The facts hold up the truth, but the truth, like the facts are, it's kind of what Bill Burr said recently, when he was making the joke about being accused of sexual harassment. He was saying there's two, there's no doesn't mean no. You know, no, that means no. But no, stop it. No, that means yes. And his whole point was that in the context, it's different. But when you read it flat, oh my gosh, they said no, stop it, no. It makes you sound like a monster. And he said, no, that's not how she said it. That's not how she said it. Anyway, there's the truth, and then there's the facts. Or I should say the facts, and then there's the truth. Glad to hear that, man, says Peter. Mike, Peter, Sharon saying hi to everybody. Lightning fans, Elliot Jerkmonger. I thought of something. With Halloween approaching, you should live stream warm ups on YouTube with your Doom Kicker baddies. Uh, I'm kind of limited on the bad guys, actually. It's not a whole lot to work there. Peter Simetti. Lots of Peters in here. Oh, yes, lots of Peters. I take that back, Jalapeno. I recommend Immortal Hulk. It's more than art and story. It's the mood I get reading it. Yeah, I have heard good things about Immortal Hulk. But again, I don't get that pumped up about that stuff. I like Savage Hulk, man. But I got a funny feeling I'm gonna like that one. I like any monster version of Hulk. I never cared for the gray Hulk, Mr. Fix-It Hulk. I guess it was an interesting alternative, but I've always been interested in the monster, not the man. This is a lot of Peters. Yeah, we're about to peter out here. Haha, get it? Get it? I did that right now. I just did that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take off. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. I'm gonna grab a shower. Uh, you know what I'm saying? This is an old T-shirt. I ripped the top of it. Thing. Uh, so Venom Hulk? No, I don't. I don't need a monster on top of a monster. The Hulk's enough monster for that. As far as I'm concerned, Peter Mike says, you are a natural born storyteller. Am I really? You think so? Immortal Hulk says, works really well, unless you're talking to somebody else. You're probably talking to somebody else. Take it easy, Mr. Munger. Have a great day. Got it, Hiroshi. Thanks, Ellie, for the talk. Hulking out, bruh. Peter Sametti, where? Later, all. Bye, Elliot. Great job. Thank you, Hexcal. Me, see ya. Elliot's quads are hulking. My quads are jamming. They're feeling good today. Woo. All right. Bye, lighting fan. All the best right now. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Have a great Wednesday. Don't forget tomorrow at 9:30 on Brian Shearer's channel. We have pair O normals. And if you don't mind checking out Doom Kicker on Indiegogo and Gunship Thunder Punch by Brian Shearer on Indiegogo. There's a lot of good stuff on Indiegogo. Check out Mike Miller's Soul of the Soldier and Heart of a Hero, the reprint. I'm working on my cover. I'm going to hand that over to him today. What else? And also, I asked you guys yesterday, if you guys don't mind in the comments below, if you guys want to help me out, just tell me what you think. Which one would you prefer? An art book, Valkyries and Angels, they're still both going to come out, but one's going to come out first or later, or an art book for mini mongers, which will have new art and maybe even a how-to section on how to draw them. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. That would be much appreciated. You guys are great. You guys are swell. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all you guys for being so kind to me. God bless you guys. Bye.